Hey everyone, welcome to My Wife the Dietitian, a weekly podcast about lifestyle and healthy eating. I'm Rob, and together with my wife Sandra, we invite you to join us on this informative yet entertaining journey through the complex world of healthy eating.
We'll cover everything but the kitchen sink. Each week we'll discuss topics ranging from how to protect yourself from developing cancer, spicy foods to rev up the libido, to caring for your palliative grandfather with Alzheimer's.
We'll also delve into more complex issues like, what the heck is oat milk? Why doesn't my butt fit into these jeans? And every guy's favorite question, will eating spinach really make it bigger? Join us each week as we strive to educate, enlighten, and entertain you. Hey Sandra, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Guess what I'm doing right now?
What?
I just making my New Year's resolutions. I'm super stoked.
Oh.
I'm going to eat less cheese. I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to eat more beans because you've been saying that forever. We got to eat more beans. That's good for you. I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to do yoga. I think I'm going to learn how to play piano. I'm going to swim. I'm going to do some running. And what was the other thing? Oh, I was going to start walking every morning too. Cool, hey?
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Really?
Last year.
Well, you know, maybe this year it'll change. I don't know.
Well, have you heard of SMART goals?
I have not.
Well, stick around because that's what today's episode is all about.
All right. Well, I can't wait. Hey, Sandra.
Hey, Rob.
And welcome to the 2023 My Wife the Dietitian.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. You know what I really want to start? Because it's like New Year's, and like I like to start things on New Year's. I'm going to start something.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think?
Resolution?
Well, you know, I got a big list of resolutions of all the things that I'm going to do this year. So
You're funny. Well, that's funny because that's what we're going to talk about.
No way.
Yeah. How
ironic.
Well, people start all gung-ho with all these big plans and goals and then look back weeks later kind of wondering where they got off track and why nothing actually changed.
You know, it's kind of funny. You know what our New Year's resolution was last year?
No.
To have a podcast.
Oh, hey, it worked.
Right?
There we go.
We're like, let's just do it.
Oh,
and
interesting.
Here we are.
Right. We started in January.
Yeah,
and we were thinking about it in November. Well, I'd been thinking about it for years before, but.
Yeah, but we actually did it in January. So we made it happen.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I like that. I forgot that. That's a great example. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. There's a good success story, right? So today, like Sandra said, we are going to talk about a different approach to New Year's resolutions, and it's called SMART goals.
Yeah, SMART goals, action plan, and we're going to go over what SMART goals are and why they are shown to work.
And this is something you used to teach in a class, right? Related to your job, I presume, right?
Yeah, we did groups. And one of the groups we did locally was chronic pain self-management group. And every week at the end of the 2-hour group, we would talk about the action plan. And so every single week, everyone had to have a SMART goal and go through their action plan. And we, as a group, heard each other's action plans. So it helped with keeping people accountable.
And I'm guessing that's part of the SMART plan.
Yeah. Actually, research has demonstrated that there's more success with not New Year's resolutions per se, but goals if there's with certain principles. Like writing down your goal helps. Committing to the action steps. And that's where the SMART goals come in that we're going to talk about. And having a support network or an accountability buddy or a way to be accountable really helps to improve the success of your SMART goal.
All right.
There was a research study by a psychology professor, Gail Matthews, and she had 5 different groups. with her study. So the first group had unwritten goals. The second group had written their goals down. The third group wrote their goals down plus an action plan. The fourth group wrote their goals down with an action plan and gave it to a friend. And the fifth group gave the written goals action plan to a friend and provided weekly updates. So which group do you think was the most successful?
Well, I'll guess the obvious one, the last group, right?
Yeah, by 76% had success rate of actually sticking with their plan and their goals.
Nice. So let's explain what SMART goals is. I mean, like the word stands for something, right? It's one of those, what do you call it, where the word
like
means
an acronym?
Yeah. Is that what an acronym is?
Yeah. Well, with the SMART goals, it's S is specific, M is measurable, A is achievable, R is realistic, and T is timely.
Perfect.
Yeah. And well, first I want to just mention that the top 5 New Year resolutions related to diet and lifestyle are: number 1, lose weight.
Yeah, that's a given.
Number 2, eat more vegetables.
Oh, really?
Number 3, drink more water.
Huh.
Number 4, eat less junk food. And number 5 is cut out sugar.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So in itself, I mean, they're ambitious, like lose weight or eat more vegetables. But what are some of the pitfalls of just saying, I want to lose weight? And that's the New Year's resolution.
Well, it's pretty general. I mean, there's no measurable. I mean, it needs to be something like lose 10 pounds by March.
Exactly.
Something you can measure.
Yeah, that's right. So that's the problem. It's the ones I mentioned, like lose weight, for instance. The goal is too broad. It's not specific enough.
Right. You don't know when you're done. Like you might lose a pound by the middle of January and you're like, yay, I lost weight. Okay, check. On to the next one.
Yeah, that's right. That's right? True. Yeah. The other problem is making too many resolutions. Some people have like a list of 10 resolutions that they're going to do. Oh, that's me.
Totally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh. What are some resolutions you had in the past?
Oh, it's the same every year. It's funny.
Okay. We should really put these into action.
Yeah, you're right. It's pretty funny because I make notes in my phone in the little notes app, and sometimes I'll find like a list from like 3 years ago, and it'll be like things to do in 2019 or whatever the list is called, and it'll be things that I want to start working on, like interests, getting better hobbies, sleep. Well, that's the story. That is the story I wanted to tell, because my entire life, like since I was a kid, I've always wanted to get up early. I was always envious of people who were like up at like 5 a.m. doing stuff. And, I'm just thought that's like this golden time of day. And I just can't drag my butt out of bed before 7:30, 8 o'clock. And I mean, when I was a lot younger, I mean, it was even later, but it was just not something I could do no matter how much I wanted to do it.
Really?
Yeah. But since we got a dog,
pandemic puppy, right?
I don't have a choice. And I know that the dog wants to go for a walk in the morning. And if I want any time to myself in the morning before the dog's up, I got to get up early. Like really early.
That's funny.
So I started going to bed earlier, which was a huge part of it. And now I'm like, this morning I was up at like 4:30, and I think I was laying in bed awake for half an hour before that.
Wow.
And I got up and I was wide awake. I'm just like, okay, now what? What am I going to do? It's dark out for another 3 hours. And, I usually edit the podcast or do something like that in the morning or read or whatever. But it's so nice having that time alone. It's quiet. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing it for quite a while, like probably over a year now.
Yeah.
Or more. And I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's such a quiet time. This morning I started, because we both got up pretty early, and I decided to do that AM yoga with Rodney Yee that we did like I don't know, 20 years ago, and I found it. I found like a VHS tape, but I actually just YouTubed it. So anyways, it was, it's pretty awesome. I love it. It was a great way to start the morning. And I'm not going to say that I'm going to do it every day, because that's another problem with even some of the action plans people make, is saying they're going to do something every single day, because then there's no wiggle room. And if you don't do it, 1 out of the 7 days, then you'll feel like you didn't accomplish it.
Yeah.
So
you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah. So it's better, if you're starting from like doing something twice a week and you want to increase it, maybe say 4 times a week or 5 times a week instead of like every day, because every day is kind of setting up for failure.
Yeah. And if you say 3 times a week, you can still do more, but your kind of goal is to do it like at least 3 times a week.
That's right. And with the action plans, we actually did a confidence. You had to say how confident you were in your specific action that you're going to do. And if you weren't 70%, like 1 out of, it's like up to 100%. So if you weren't 70% confident, then the group asked you to change your goal to make it more realistic and achievable.
Oh, wow. That's kind of cool. The group would sure help.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Push each other to complete things. So,
and accountability.
That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So some of the pitfalls, as we mentioned, the goal is too broad. People don't hold themselves accountable. It's like you need someone else, you tell someone else about it, or have an accountability partner.
Right.
Making too many resolutions, and not developing a realistic action plan, like an actual plan that has specifics of the who, what, where, when, why.
Yeah, how it's going to happen.
Exactly. That is so key, and that's what we're going to go over. Also, with a lot of New Year's resolutions, and the reason they fail is because it starts feeling like a chore, and then it's not fun. Like, I think a lot of people join up to the gym, and maybe they're not really... They want to get healthy and they want to go to the gym, and they, they're gung-ho to do it, and they sign up, and then for whatever reason, they just don't like getting up early. They just don't for whatever reason, they just are not having fun with it anymore. And so, the membership start to drop off and people stop going. So it's kind of, I think that fits in that category where it starts feeling like a chore. Yeah. And it's not a fun thing to do. And it's with activity, you need to have fun with it. If you don't have fun, it's hard to stick with it, an exercise or activity.
I think one of the pitfalls of starting something at New Year's is you are gung-ho. You're coming off of Christmas and the holiday season where you've been probably overeating and partying and you want to just like kick it into this healthy lifestyle. And just give her every day and go to the gym and go for walks at lunch and eat really well. And like Sandra was saying, that's overwhelming and it's too much. It's too many goals. It's unachievable.
Right.
And as soon as one of the things starts to kind of like you go downhill, everything else kind of just gets piled in there too. And you're like, screw it.
And then there's Valentine's Day. Oh, yeah. Time to indulge. Yeah.
So it's almost better to, even though you're excited and you really want to get on it right away, it's probably better to start with that realistic goal of going to the gym twice a week. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. To start. If that's just get into that routine, and then you can bump it up. But if you say, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week, and that's not going to last. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. For most people. Yeah. The last pitfall is that people don't celebrate their little mini goals or their progress. Yeah, and that's true across the board in a lot of parts of life where lots of people focus on their failures rather than the things that they're achieving. It's like, I didn't do this, or I didn't succeed at this, but they succeeded at a whole bunch of other things, but they're only focusing on the things they didn't do. That is so true. And that's all part of like that negative self-talk. And we get into that in that group too. It's just like
kicking yourself when you're down and basically saying, oh, I knew I couldn't do this and I didn't stick with it. And so that's a whole nother topic it's another podcast episode.
Yeah. That kind of thing. I mean, it's really something you need to just say, okay, I'm going to make a list every night of 3 things that I accomplished today. Mm-hmm. Just simple, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And gratitude journal too. I mean, I bought one of those.
Same kind of idea, right?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to just, doing that. Maybe not every day because I could, but it's one of those things that if you say every day and you miss a day, then you feel like, oh, I didn't succeed. So yeah, small steps for long-term success and for behavior change.
Yeah, it really works. Even though, like we said before, you're gung-ho, I want it now, I want to get on it. But if you want to still be doing it in 6 months, you got to start with baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps, exactly. And identifying potential barriers and problems. So that's another thing is just think ahead. So let's do some, let's first off say specific. So SMART goals. So the specific, the S is the who, what, where, when, why, and which. So define the goal as much as possible. So no ambiguity.
Ambiguity.
Thank you.
Here we are
ambitious language. No ambitious language.
Our big words again.
So, for instance, say.
Do you want me to give you a goal?
Sure.
And I'll be the guinea pig?
Yes.
Okay, well, I have 2. Do I need to just pick one?
No, that's fine. Well, let's just pick one for this. Yes.
Okay. I want to do a 10K in the spring.
Okay.
Because I saw one advertised and it's kind of near us and I thought, I could do that. That'd be neat. I did one a few years ago and I decided the night before there was this event happening in town and Sandra and I kind of decided at the last minute we wanted to be a part of it and we went down to sign up and it's like, okay, you can do a 10K or you can do this bike ride thing or you can do this swim. So I signed up for the 10K and I've run a little bit, but I hadn't been like training per se. And I didn't even have running shoes, but I thought, well, it's kind of this cool event. I'm going to do it. And worst case scenario, I walk through it, whatever. And so I borrowed some shoes from a buddy and went into the 10K the next morning and, did a few warm up stretches and I did pretty well. Actually, I finished like middle of the pack and I thought, well, that's pretty cool. I should do this more often and actually train and see how well I do. So
yeah, that was good. That was about 5 years ago. That's awesome.
It was, yeah. So I thought, it'd be cool for this one coming up to just actually start training and make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's my goal.
Okay, great. So what are you going to do? Let's do it into an action plan.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So who, what, where, when, which. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to do a 10K.
Okay, excellent. And where?
Well, it's in town.
Okay.
And
when?
I don't know the date, but it's in like April.
Okay. So this is actually a broader goal because now we have to actually make a SMART goal with an action plan, meaning that's a far off thing. So that's your like way end goal. What you have to do is what you're going to do tomorrow. So you're not going to do a 10K tomorrow. You have to figure out the action plans to get to a point where you can actually go into the race.
Right.
So let's talk about how you're going to train.
Would you rather do a different goal that's easier to...
I would love to do a different goal.
Okay. Because this one's, I get what you're talking about. So my other goal is I want to do AM yoga like you just did this morning.
Okay.
I used to do that and I loved it. It's really quick and I love how instant the results are. Like you feel great right away. And I just got out of the habit of doing that. And now that I'm up early every morning with all this time, I'm like, I should start doing yoga again.
Great. Okay. All right. So you're going to do yoga. So how much are you going to do?
I'm going to do it 7 days a week.
You're so funny.
Okay. Let's start with 3 days a week. Or
okay.
Every other day, maybe we'll say that.
Every other day?
No, because then if I miss a day, then it'll screw me up. I'll just say 3 days a week.
Okay. 3 days a week. Excellent. What time are you going to do it?
Oh, really? I got to say the time?
Well, or time of day.
Oh, time of day. Okay. Before breakfast.
Okay. And so how much, like how, like time frame of like how long it takes?
Oh, it's like 20 minutes. It's a quick one.
Okay. So 20 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week, you said?
Yeah, let's say that.
Okay. And then where are you going to do it?
In my living room.
Okay.
Living room
Perfect.
floor.
Okay. And
Where are you going to do it? Because then maybe I won't do it at the same place.
oh,
we could do it. We could do it together.
maybe that's not, I don't think it's one of my goals, but just because I feel like I already do it sometimes. But anyways, a good question to ask yourself in the S, the specific, is the why. Like why, the reason, the purpose, the why, like that's going to keep you going.
Because my body hurts and it needs to, I'm just at that age where you need to keep things moving if you want it to keep working.
Okay. So what's
I'm not 80 or anything, but
what's a positive way to think about it? So you want to improve your fitness, or you want to,
not so much
mental
fitness, flexible.
Okay.
You know, just stretching the muscles and feeling like I'm not all creaky and
okay. That's interesting because I do it for a different reason. I mean,
really?
I definitely like to start my day for that part, but for me, it's a meditation.
Oh, okay.
It's just to have a clear mind and just to start the day on a peaceful, kind of connected to my body and my mind and just feeling grounded.
Yeah. That's probably a side effect of the yoga for me, but it's not it's not my purpose for doing it.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. So the measurable is, can you track your progress and measure the outcome? So that's the M in the SMART goals. So measurable.
Yeah.
So how much, how will you know when you reached your goal? So what is your goal is to feel less creaky.
Yes, that's one goal, definitely, for sure. The other goal, I think, is just to start the habit of doing that stretching every morning, because I know it's beneficial for me forever. And if I can get into the habit of doing it and just keep it up, then
yeah, that's a great idea.
Maintaining it.
Yeah.
So maybe the goal is getting to the point where it's habit.
Yeah. And then it's not even like you don't even think about it. It's just that something you do. It's like brushing your teeth.
Exactly.
It's just, part of the day or part of your week or whatever. That's a great way to do it.
I don't know how you'd measure that, but I guess you just have to check in with yourself at a certain time period and make sure that it's going as planned.
Well, you could say in 2 weeks, I'm going to do it every second day, or I'm going to do it 3 times. And then in 2 weeks, you can actually put it in your calendar and say, did I do it, 3 or 4 times a week? Yeah.
And then keep checking in and creating a new goal, like keep moving the yardsticks kind of thing, right?
Yeah. And it's hard to have your accountability partner as your spouse because
yeah, I bet.
That's
cracking the whip.
Yeah. I don't want to be that person. I mean, I'm happy to cheer you on but I don't want to be like, hey, you said you're going to do this and why aren't you doing it? Or, I don't want to. You
don't want to be my coach.
No, I'm not your coach.
That's probably a smart move.
Yeah. All right. So the next one is the A. So SMART. So achievable. A, is the goal reasonable enough to be accomplished? And is it out of reach or too big?
I think it's reasonable.
Yeah, I think so
4 days.
too.
I think if I said 7 days, like right off the bat, that might not be achievable.
Or if you said you're going to do it for an hour, that might be too big.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome. Okay. See, for some people, maybe they already do it. That's part of their practice and maybe they want to do it at night. So maybe that would be their goal, is to do it 3 times a week at night in addition to their morning. So, everybody's different. And that's the other thing with action plans and like SMART goals. It's like you start from where you're at and you are, moving in a direction of behavior change that you want to see.
Yeah, for sure.
The next one is R. So in the SMART R is realistic. So is it worthwhile? Is the goal worthwhile to meet your needs? Does it fit within immediate and long-term plans for your health or for your personal goals?
I think so. And I could see if we were, say, just about to sell our house and move and live in a van or something, like maybe that wouldn't be the best time to start trying to exercise every morning because you got all these other things on your plate. But
oh, good point. Yeah.
I mean, you can still do it, but it's maybe not the most realistic
time. I don't think I'm at that point where I want to sell the house and live in a van.
No, that'd be like moving backwards.
That's right.
We did that when we were younger, so then now we're nice and stable. So, yeah,
that's funny. Okay, T for the SMART goals. The T is timely or time sensitive, and that means the when. So your objective should include a time limit. So, for example, I will accomplish this step by a certain month, day, year. And it helps to establish a sense of urgency, like, I'm going to get to it this week kind of thing, not like long distance in the future.
It creates a deadline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's good. So you're, when you said the yoga in the morning, you said when you're going to do it, how often, how long it takes. So those are all in the action plan. So the action plan is, what are you going to do? How much are you going to do it? So the time it is required. So like the 20 minutes. When are you going to do it? In the AM. So the time of day or day of the week. And that's like every second day or 3 or 4 times a week. And then how often or how many days a week. We just said that. So, and the confidence level, are you at least 70% sure that you can achieve this?
I am. And just because I've done it before, so I kind of know what the routine is. I just want to get back into that routine again.
Awesome.
So I look forward to it. I look forward to that feeling. So I kind of know what it's going to give me. So that's a bit of an incentive, which is nice.
Absolutely.
It's not always the case with certain goals, but with this, like I said, I've done it before, so I kind of know what I'm going to get from it. So it's a little bit easier to get into it.
Yeah, definitely. So some other ideas for some SMART goals could include like increasing fluid intake. And we did a podcast last year on hydration and fluid, and it was in the summer. So for instance, say you wanted to increase your fluid intake. So what are you going to do? Increase your water. How much are you going to do? So you're going to maybe say add 2 cups of water a day. And so you have to be specific. So I'm going to drink 1 whole cup first thing in the morning and then another cup at lunch. And so that is very specific. And when are you going to do this? Oh, I'm going to try to, you don't use the word try. I'm going to do this 4 times a week. And the other thing that's going to help is not buy pop, juice, or sweetened beverages.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'm going to write it all down so that I'm going to have a water bottle and then have that so I will know that I'm drinking more water, but I'm also having that cup in the morning and 1 at lunch.
Yeah. If you just add those 2 extras, then once you start most habits or most new routines, the rest just kind of fills in. Like if you just say, okay, I'm just going to add 1 extra cup of water or 2 extra cups of water a day, you'll probably end up drinking more than that because you just kind of want to do well with your new routine and you'll be thinking about it because you've just added those extra 2. So you'll probably do more than what you're planning.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Exactly. And that's the thing with, it's easier to add new routines than it's harder to take away. It's harder to I'm going to cut out sugar or I'm going to limit this. It's our brain likes positivity. Our brain likes to add things or include or increase versus restrict, because then you feel like you're dieting or you feel like deprivation or it's like something being taken away that you like.
Totally.
So it's better to replace kind of maybe negative habits with something more positive.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Because you can still reduce the thing you wanted to, or quit the thing you wanted by replacing it with something that you do want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, another example would be add more vegetables in the day. So get specific. So I'm going to have 2 servings of vegetables 5 times a week. And so that's kind of like a work week. So it makes it a little bit easier. And so I'm going to have vegetables at lunch. So a lot of people don't have vegetables at lunch. So I'm going to add a vegetable at lunch, and I'm also going to add a green leafy vegetable at dinner. So maybe there already is vegetables, like cooked vegetables with the meal. So now you got green leafy vegetable plus the cooked vegetable, and then your vegetables at lunch. So then you're overall in the week, if you can stick with that goal and actually make it an action plan and do it, because it's very specific, then it'll be achievable. And then you'll have a new habit of, oh, good, I'm eating 2 more vegetables than I did, 2 weeks ago or last year.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a big part of changing anything with food is how you shop and what's in your fridge, what's available, like when you open your fridge. And we've kind of added a bunch of stuff in our fridge that's just grab and go kind of stuff, stuff that's easy.
Grab and go vegetables, like small, is that what you mean? Like the little baby tomatoes, so and the little cucumbers and the peppers, and we'll cut them up, and the celery and the carrots. And so there's like those, is that what you mean?
Exactly what I mean. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's at your fingertips. You don't have to like make anything. It's just right there. So it's easy to get those vegetables into you if you're in a rush or whatever, and they're just there ready. So that's part of that.
Absolutely.
Achieving that goal.
Yeah, that makes sense. Totally. And one last one, and this is I guess getting creative in the kitchen and finding new ways to cook with beans and vegetables, would be try 1 new recipe a month.
Yeah, that's fun. Mm-hmm. Or like I said with our shopping thing, is like try a new product. Like buy something different and see. I did that the last time I shopped. I can't remember what it was, but I'm like, yeah, I'm going to try these, see what this is all about, what they taste like, or how I can incorporate whatever it was I bought.
Yeah.
'Cause there's so many neat products in the grocery store, and we often just go in with our, buying the same thing all the time. And so it's good to try new things and then take those new things and try some different recipes you maybe not have tried before. And
yeah. And as Scott Frickerson said in Vegan for Runner episode in November, was having the weekly CSA box really helps to expand your repertoire of recipes and what to do with these different vegetables that I've never seen before, I've never cooked with before. How do I use them? How do I make them taste good?
I looked up what that means.
Oh, yeah.
CSA, because we didn't know when we were talking about it, we didn't know what it meant.
I know. I've used it for so long, but I forget what it meant.
It means community sourced agriculture.
Ah, yes.
So local farmers basically are supplying these boxes and bringing them to, locally.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. So I guess we'll keep you posted on my results here with my yoga goals.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know what I was going to say, because you were talking about buying a new product in the store. Well, we got a new product, a recipe. Rob actually made hummus.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
It's kind of funny. That's what I bought. I bought something for the hummus. Yeah. Anyway, I've been saying that all year. I think since the beginning of this podcast, I've been like, yeah, I'm gonna make hummus, and I made this wicked hummus on Christmas Day. I think partly because in his gifts under the tree, he got some hummus ingredients, tahini and chickpeas. That's totally why. Yeah, I got chickpeas for Christmas.
That's our house.
That's how we roll.
Yeah. Anyways, it's so good. And it's amazing the cost effectiveness. Rob was saying, oh my gosh, like if you buy hummus in the store, in the deli, it's like $5 or $6 or $7, depending on, the size or whatever. And how much was it when you made it?
I think it ended up being like $2 maybe. And it was probably a similar amount, maybe a little bit more.
Oh, it's way more than what you made? It went for days.
We used it a lot.
Yeah.
The thing I like is I know what's in it, because there's probably way more, processing and different ingredients in the store-bought one. I know what's in the one I made, and I can customize it because I made it. I'm like, oh, next time I'm going to add more lime to it, or I'm going to put some spicy stuff in it, or I'm going to,
more garlic.
Just flavor it, do what I want with it. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was so good. And then we just used it for the veggies and with the pita chips. Oh, yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, so I can see the appeal. I'm definitely going to play around with that some more because it was fun.
All right, so to wrap it up, try to write down your goals, commit to your action steps with the SMART goals and an action plan. And if you have an accountability buddy, or if you mention it to a friend, that will help keep you on track and help achieve your small steps to long-term behavior change.
Yeah. And we figured it would be appropriate timing with all the New Year's resolutions that are starting. So let us know how this works out for anyone who's getting into some new routines. It'd be kind of neat to hear some feedback on what you're doing and if it worked, and especially if it's food related. I mean, it's kind of neat hearing people's goals being achieved with their food habits, I guess.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of New Year's resolutions revolve around lifestyle and eating habits and exercise.
The nice thing with health related goals too is you get that end result where you actually feel better or you're more healthy. Like you get your body gives you positive feedback, which is a nice kind of cherry on top.
I agree.
Right on. Okay, well, thanks for joining us again today. We look forward to doing a lot more fun episodes in 2023 and keeping everybody healthy and well fed and giving you good ideas and all that sort of thing. So we appreciate you guys coming back.
Next week is gallbladder and healthy bile.
Gallbladder. It's a very exciting episode.
Well, it doesn't sound exciting, but it is very relevant to so many people. And it goes along with the fatty liver that we did many weeks ago.
Yeah, it's a lot of really good information that'll probably open up a lot of people's eyes. And I know when we finished, I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that everything that we talked about. So
make your bile smile.
Yes, there you go. So in the meantime, check out the Facebook page, Instagram page. You can reach out to us through our website at mywifethedietitian.com. You can email us your questions or comments at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And don't forget to rate and review the show. We always appreciate that. Leave a comment if you wish. You don't have to leave a comment. I mean, you can. That's an option. You can just hit the...
Yes, please. Leave a comment. That'd be awesome. And a 5-star review would be super helpful because that gets the show out there for other listeners that have an interest in health and nutrition.
Yeah, there you go. The coach has spoken. All right. We will talk to everyone next week. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.